Welcome to Keeping Up with Trends. This is Fed Razak, Senior Trading Strategist here at CMTrading. We're joined with Sergio Davids, the host of your show. So, Sergio, we are kind of in polar opposite of the world right now. You're going through extreme cold in South
Oh yeah.
Africa.
Yeah, it's been crazy. It's actually snowing in Johannesburg at the moment. So many of my friends are sending me videos of pure snow. I mean, the last time I've seen snow in South Africa was about 2012. And yeah, it just goes to show all this extreme weather is happening. I mean, what's it like where you are?
So, by us, it's close to between 90 to 100 degrees.
Okay, okay, Fahrenheit. Jeez, you almost scared me for a second, man. But wow, wow, I could use some of that here.
Yeah,
Um,
is that funny? Can we meet in the middle? Let's meet in the middle.
okay, sure. You just pick a place. Speaking of, bad weather and extreme conditions, US CPI. So the US dollar
Yes.
took a battering on the latest, CPI data. It's been a soft, CPI, and I see that the Euro USD has hit, 2023 highs. What can you
Yes.
tell us about this?
So it's interesting. The markets are working in tandem right now, which
Right.
means the markets are real. Um, and so the dollar getting weaker, the Dow Jones and the Nasdaq hitting new highs 2023, and the Dow Jones rallying. So all this is like trading, textbook trading,
Yeah.
because when the dollar goes down, which is what's happening, the euro is going up, the GBP is going up, the Australian dollar is going up, Japanese yen is going up, and the dollar is going down, the Dow Jones and the Nasdaq usually go higher. That's
Okay.
exactly what's happening. And so, in the current environment, so this is good news and not so good news. Not good news for the strength of the dollar, but
Right.
good news for the markets. It might mean that we're easing off of what's going to come next if inflation is coming down.
Well, if you take a look at,
I
gold is
asked you,
going
that
up.
was a question, Sergio.
Oh.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. Look, I
Interest
I
rates.
see interest rates are, I mean it's not as high as they were, but for me, I don't really see it I mean it's slowing, but it's not going down any much more than it was.
It's going to have to taper off.
And I
I mean,
mean,
businesses are standing at a standstill because of
yeah,
the
but and
right.
also prices are, at the highest they've been in what, 5 years. Mortgage rates are, high. I don't see anyone, trying to get into, especially US mortgage rates are high, and it's just this weird like pressure cooker situation for consumers. Something's got to give. And what I mean, I keep asking you this whenever we have, interest rate and inflation, conversations. It's been now, it's a year and a half. When are we going to see relief?
So I think everybody's just waiting for inflation to go down. We are entering also an interesting time in the U.S. climate of politics as we're going into big
Sh-
elections.
Sheesh. Yeah, the 2024 election is going to be huge for the US,
So
huge
the
for the
economic,
world.
yes, I'm saying the economic status of that is going to have a big influence on that. I mean, Joe Biden is how old now? 82, 83?
Sheesh.
How old is he?
Yeah, I can't believe he's running again. To be fair, I mean he's too old. You
I
know,
mean, he's 80.
way too old. But I don't
I
think
mean,
they've got a
he's
better
up there.
candidate. That's the issue right now. And I don't know if he's capable of taking on Trump a second time.
Yeah, that should be kind of interesting. I mean,
you know.
I don't know. Something's gonna happen. Something. It feels like something's gonna
Yeah.
happen
Oh,
between
Joe
now and
Biden's
election
80.
day.
Yeah, you called
They're
it.
trying to knock Trump off of his game by bringing down all these accusations and
Jeez. When is the
kind of,
man not in court of late, eh?
yes, I'm saying, like he's in court, so they're trying to come up with every widget in order to stop him from, you know,
Yeah, look, I'm pretty sure a lot of this is strategy. Like you said, to knock him off his game and also to make sure he doesn't run again. I mean, there's a huge fear. I honestly didn't think that Trump would, you know, run again. What with these accusations of, election fraud, but here we are, you know, more than halfway through 2023, and he's the primary, candidate after DeSantis. Okay, I don't even know if DeSantis is still Ron DeSantis is still a candidate with these poll numbers. But anyways, um, here's a question though. You always tell me that when things are bad, right, in terms of the economy, one of the things that goes up is gold, and we've seen gold, see a huge spike. Once again trying to test that, $2,000, psychological benchmark. What do you think of that?
So that was a big comeback also. I mean, both not just gold, but oil also rebounded big
Mm,
time to $76 a barrel, and gold climbing to 1960 from 1900. That was a huge comeback for gold because it looked like it was really going to break down at one point. So, I mean, I think that interlays with inflation and interest rates. Interestingly enough, when inflation goes up and there's more uncertainty in the markets, usually
right.
commodities go down. So, it seems like we kind of have footing on inflation, at least for now. So it's a little bit of a question mark why gold actually rallied here. And it rallied on decent volume as well.
I mean, I guess what I want to ask is this indicative of some more bad times to come? Everyone pouring into safe havens like gold, for instance.
I don't know. I think that there's still uncertainty in the markets. The question is whether it's economic or whether it's geopolitical. I think that those are factors that, there's an X factor always when you're looking at investing in gold, because it's not just inflation that you go to in gold, but any kind of adversity in the markets altogether, any kind of tension that outside of the economic stance,
Yeah.
gold is your safe haven. So perhaps that's one of the reasons that gold went up. We're entering a funny time
Mm.
with U.S. politics, Ukraine and Russia not resolving anything in the end.
And the conflict's
Um,
still going on, 1.5, years on.
I don't know if you saw this, but there was an interesting take. Henry Kissinger was duped. You know who Henry Kissinger was, right?
Yes, yes.
So he was duped by these two Soviet, I guess they're like, I don't know, comedians or whatever it was, but he thought it
Right.
was Zelensky, the prime minister of Ukraine. And they kind of try to dupe him about the pipeline that was supposed to go through Ukraine that Russia wants to circumvent. Uh, and I think that that might be the basis to it. And they kind of like said to him, "Oh, we thought that you do you know who you know." Someone asked these two guys that are trying to play off Zelensky who you know blew up the pipeline,
Right.
and so it caught him off guard. And he's like, "I thought you guys did it." And
Uh-oh.
yeah, so I'm saying like finding yourself in a really interesting situation there. So the truth starts coming out, you know.
I think we're going to be unraveling this conflict for a couple decades to come.
I hope
There's a
not.
lot more nuances to this. Well, you say that, yet do you honestly see, Zelensky capitulating and or Putin ending this conflict? For the one it's survival and the other is pride, you know? And unfortunately, I don't see Putin pulling back without maintaining, the territories he's already taken. And likewise, Zelensky is never going to give up the territories lost.
But I'm saying like it's like the country is just unraveling, and more than 50,000 Soviet. I think I was reading something like more than 50,000 Soviet soldiers have died. That's a big
Yeah,
number.
probably way more.
When you're
Not to
that far
mention the
deep
economic
invested in it.
loss. Yeah. And the thing is, there's going to be more blood, as the months and years go. Because unfortunately, that's the one thing they've got in, mass supply bodies on the front line. And Zelensky, on the other hand, he's got that problem where he's got to somehow maintain an offensive so that, we'll get Western help, but do so well and do so badly that he can continue to rely on their support. It's a weird, weird game to play. I mean, I was reading this report by Wall Street Journal, which is asking why is the offensive stalled? Are they wasting you know the billions and dollars in equipment? But I mean, it's a military campaign. It doesn't just work like that. But anyways, getting back to US CPI, what advice do you have for traders? Now that it's post release, we can see some trends. What advice do you have for traders?
So, looking at the numbers, I mean, it's very encouraging at this stage, I think.
Yeah,
But it seems like inflation is kind of tapering off, um, and we're seeing things kind of get closer to baseline, which is a very positive aspect of it. Um, and so, whereas in 2022 we were much higher, especially throughout the first part of the year. This part of the year, comparatively to last year, we're doing okay. We're doing really okay.
yeah. I
So,
mean, we were at the height of you know the highest inflation last year, and
so
I
it
mean it's
doesn't
tapered off,
necessarily mean that we'll, see the Nasdaq and the Dow Jones going to new record highs tomorrow, and businesses as usual. But for now, it seems like the bleeding has stopped, and that's
right?
confirmed, and that's really an important stage to be in. So, with that said, I think we're going to have lots of individual opportunities. Now, we've said this before, AI coming into the spectrum,
Mm,
being a contributing force to the markets.
yeah.
There's lots of things that are now starting to develop, and I think it's kind of starting to become very interesting.
Well, you say we're stopping the bleeding, right? After this, when, in your opinion, do you think we'll start seeing recovery?
I'm saying like recovery comes, 18 to 20 months after a recession is said to have been. So
Right.
let's say last year at this time, or even earlier, we said, let's say from last January of 2023. So we're about 12 months in. So about 6 to 7 months, we could see ourselves rebounding. Now, however, this is a big however, we're also going into a year that's going to be filled with politics.
Yeah, and that's going to be a very destabilizing effect
And that's going to be very
on the
destabilizing,
markets.
very destabilizing.
Yeah.
So that is an X factor that we can't, foretell at this stage.
Okay. Fair enough.
So, I mean, like upwards, but cautious.
Upwards but cautious. And I think on that note, we'll end it there. Thank you so much for all your awesome advice, Fred.
My pleasure, Sergio.
And I'll see you on the next one.
One more advice: stay warm.
I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try my best. I am freezing here.
I can't
Like
imagine.
you can't believe.
Can't imagine.
Yeah. I'll see you on the next one, man.
Thank you, Sergio. All the best.